All right, what's up, everyone? This is Turkey Talks. This is episode 6, and today we're going to be interviewing Josh Tanner. Josh, how does it feel to be able to be on this podcast today?
I've heard a lot of great things about this, so I'm excited to be here and see what kind of questions you guys got for me today.
That's perfect. Bob, you can start us off.
Josh, what inspired you to be an athletic trainer?
Back in high school, I had a career-ending injury. I tore my ACL, and then working with my athletic trainer through that, and then seeing everything that came with it, kind of led me down that road to become an athletic trainer, just to be able to be around sports and help people at the same time.
Was that Tom?
Yeah, Tom Nowakowski in Mid-Valley.
Throughout high school training, what are some common injuries you'll see through athletes that they don't keep in mind?
High school injuries. I mean, the main one you see really in any sport or any level, I would say, is an ankle sprain, where you roll your ankle really, and then any type of muscle injury where you just strain it and kind of just got to work through it and everything like that.
I got one more quick question, real quick. What is your favorite area to tape and why?
I don't have a favorite, and everybody here at this school thinks that I have a foot fetish when I don't. So, but the most common area that I tape is a foot or ankle, because that's the most common injury to see in sports.
That's valid right there. Bob, get us with another question.
What was the most rewarding moment you experienced as an athletic trainer?
There's been a couple, seeing some guys in football who had an injury where they were out for a while and having to work through it and not understand that they have to build strength and mobility back. One example was Zach Sawinski when he was here, when he hurt his shoulder almost every game of the season.
Yes.
But, I mean, we did things where we were trying to strengthen his shoulder and, make sure we're to protect him the right way and everything. And then seeing him able to go out there every Friday night and perform to his best ability that he still was able to, it was really rewarding to see that, we helped him get there, and he always thanked us after too.
Josh, I got one more question real quick. So your brother goes to Florida Gulf Coast University. His name's Gabe Tanner. How does it feel to live in the shadow of your better older brother?
Well, you're wrong, because he's my youngest brother.
Youngest brother.
Yeah. So, and I'm not living in a shadow. We kind of live side by side because he's always asking me for help in certain areas and everything like that. But I am happy to see that he's doing very well. It's rewarding to me in a way too, to see that he followed us and me and my brother's footsteps playing basketball growing up. And growing up, he was always playing against us, just not winning at the time. But then as soon as he got into high school, he got taller than all of us. So now it's more like, all right, we have to play up to his ability, but we can't stay with him now. But I could still say I have the best shot in the house.
Okay. So with that being said, who would win in a 1v1? Game 2-11, ones and twos. You or your brother?
Is there a limited number of dribbles or no? I'd probably say him, because he's definitely a little bit more athletic than me, but I'll still be able to bully him a little bit. But I'd say he probably win.
What would it take for you to beat him?
Jesus himself to come off the cross, probably.
There you go.
I got two more. What advice would you give students interested in athletic training?
Some advice I would give is just see what it's about, see what you like about it and everything like that, and come ask questions, because there is a lot that goes into it, but it is a very fun and rewarding career, that I would have to say. So any questions that you have or you think you might have, just come and ask me, see what it's about. And just look into it. Just go online, see what athletic training is about, because there's many opportunities that you can do with it. You don't have to just work in sports in high school or college. You could do the NFL, NBA, basketball, but there's also settings where you work in like a 9-to-5 setting in a factory. Like take the Boeing plane company, for example. You can go and work there and help people with everyday tasks, try and make their lives better so they're not working or injuring themselves more and everything like that.
One last question. We have a lot of interesting coaches here. If you had you have to pick one. If you have to switch places with one coach for a day, who would it be and why?
Just one?
Just one coach. You have to pick one.
Any sport or
football?
Football? I'd have to say Scott Wasilchak.
Wow.
The reason why?
He's just an interesting individual, and he's always making people laugh, though.
Okay.
And he's always looking out for your best interest, too.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Coach Reese.
I would have thought so too. Anyways, we're gonna wrap things up here on this segment of Turkey Talks. Thank you, Josh, for coming on.
That was a
Thank
good
you
interview.
for my co-host, Coach Bob here. And with that being said, we're gonna get on to our next segment.
I'm getting breaking news that there's a gorilla outside. Let's go find him. Coach Bob, I'm getting reports that there's a gorilla outside.
Unconfirmed reports that there is a gorilla outside somewhere out here. Good morning. We're down here at Valley View Stadium for unconfirmed gorilla sightings. There is no gorilla behind me. I don't see any gorilla. I've looked all around. There is no gorilla.
Doesn't brick. Yeah. Doesn't brick. Doesn't brick. Whoa. Doesn't brick. Doesn't brick.
Welcome back of this week of Turkey Talks episode 6. Last week I have to change something, so I rated Aiden O'Connor's breakfast sandwich a 6 last week, but because of a little confuzzlement of last week, if you don't know, let's replay the clip. It's good. I mean, it's a taste like eggs, bacon. That one's good. Regular. Yeah, it's normal. So I'm making it an 8 now. I am sorry for rating a 6, O'Connor, but that's what I did last week. So this week I'm rating something that I'm a little like nervous-ish about, but I think I'll like it. I heard I'll like it a lot. So let's bring it out. Benji. Yeah. Okay. So let's try this. It's deer heart. I heard it's really good. I got bread with it, cheese, forks. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. It smells good. It smells like McDonald's, not gonna lie to you. I'm getting this open real quick. I'm gonna have my chicken open it. I got some smells there. It looks like a stool. Stool. A stool. A stool? Alright, I'm gonna just eat it. This is taking way too long. I'm only gonna eat one piece because I don't know how this is gonna be. I'm gonna let the chicken eat it after me. Cheers. I'm not gonna lie, it would be a lot better hot. It's like freezing cold. Like freezing cold. But it is good. Actually, I would like it a lot hot. A lot better than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna, let's rank the score. I got bread here. Who wants the bread? I would throw the cheese, but that might hit somewhere. Okay. Hot, I would probably give it a 8. Cold, I'm gonna give it a 7. Oh, that came from. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. Thank you, Justin Scaloti, for giving this to me. And I'm gonna have someone eat it offside. I think the gorilla threw that at me, so I'm gonna all right. See you next week on Turkey Talks.
What's up, everyone? This is Turkey Talks. We're on to our next segment with our next interview with Adam Howanitz. Adam, what's it like being on the podcast today?
Boys, it's an honor. I only get about 2 weeks at home, so when I found out I could be on the Turkey Podcast, spend some time doing that, man, it's an honor.
Truly is. All right, I'm going to get started with one question, and then we'll have Colin get to another question. When you were a star athlete in high school, thousands of yards, tons of touchdowns, so many just different accomplishments. What is it like to make the transition from high school to the collegiate level?
I just think it's a very different kind of football. You're going from maybe playing against a school that has one or two kids that I think are really, really good to now you're going up with there's 100 kids on your own roster that are all really good. So I think that was kind of a big adjustment. And I went from playing quarterback to tight end, so there was a position change too. But man, I love it. I mean, it's a different kind of atmosphere. Like we went to a couple places this year where, man, the places are rocking. It's so different than what we get here. So it really is. It's fun.
Of course. Colin, you got anything?
If you're on a road trip and you pull into a gas station and you're hungry, what's your go-to gas station order?
All right, so I'm a Sheetz guy. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be stopping in the Sheetz. It's usually an app sampler, double Mac bites and chicken bites. And then it's either a milkshake. They got good milkshakes there, or I'm running in and grabbing a Coke, a Dr. Pepper, some sort of soda to go along with it.
Great. Can't ever go wrong with an app sampler. I love those. Okay, next question. When you're in college at Pitt, who would be your favorite coach on staff and why?
So my favorite coach on the staff was probably at the time my tight end coach, Coach Bernowski, but he actually just left and took the special teams coordinator job at Auburn, which is a great job for him. I'm really happy for him. So I'd say right now it might be Coach Darvo, the offensive line coach, a real funny guy, great at his job, really gets everybody in the right spot. And, every time he stops in the tight end room to throw a joke in there, it's always usually pretty funny.
Of course. Got anything else?
What is the main difference in workouts and lifting? And did Valley View prepare you to be at Pitt for strength-wise?
I'd say definitely. I think just from what Coach Bobby had us doing, my last 3 years here, I think it definitely had me prepared. I don't think it's much different in terms of what we do. I think it's just the intensity is amped up. So like when you're in there, it's nonstop. We get through a lift in usually 45 minutes to an hour, and we get a lot done. It's usually a main lift, and there's a bunch of stations and stuff like that. And it's the coaches are on you 24/7. Like if you're skipping reps or not working, they're getting on you, and you're usually getting ripped. So it's the intensity, I'd say, is probably the biggest difference. But in terms of overall the workouts and stuff like that, it's pretty similar to what we used to do here.
Speaking on that, so take me through like an average college game day in the life. What are some like cool things that you do during like a game day on a typical Saturday, and like what like stands out to you as some fun things that you do on game day, whether it's warming up, getting prepared with the team meetings, whatever?
So I'll use a night game. That's probably the best thing to use because that's usually where we do the most stuff. So usually we'll have walkthroughs on Fridays. So you'll go through. It'll be a 2-hour walkthrough, just going through stuff. And then if it's an away game, obviously you're flying to wherever you're going. If it's a home game, you're busting over the hotel in downtown Pittsburgh. And then usually we see a movie. So our the team will vote on what movie we want to watch. So I know we've seen. We played Syracuse. We watched The Smashing Machine, which was horrible. I don't know if any of you have seen that. It was terrible. Don't. And then we saw. There was a second movie that we watched I thought was really, really good. I can't remember what it was, but usually that's how our Friday nights go. And then we'll come back. There'll be a team meeting, and then we'll have a snack, which usually there's like sliders, like little snacks and stuff like that. And then Saturday is usually just a full day of you're walking through stuff. You're going through your special teams game plan again, your offensive game plan. What are the keys to victory, we call it, going into the game. And then you're traveling to the game, and it's usually, I'd say some of the cool stuff is being able, especially in away games, being able to kind of walk around the field, see how the fans. Usually the fans are chirping you pregame. That's always fun. Like we went to Georgia Tech, that place was jammed about an hour before the game, so it was loud, and it really was a really good time. And then you go through your pregame warm-ups, and all of a sudden it's game day, and you got to be ready to go.
Of course. Colin, you got anything else?
Yeah, that's my last question. Do you make up the play signals on the sidelines? And if so, what's your favorite one?
All right, so this is a good one. So there's some stuff I can't tell you because I don't want to give away our signal stuff in case we do it next year. But I will say I definitely had some freedom with some of the signals to be able to come up with my own stuff. One of my favorite ones that I came up with here. I don't know if you want to drop the mic here.
Yeah, sure.
I throw up,
lay it down like that.
I throw up the old Kobe Bryant, the clear out, give me the ball. That's probably my favorite one that I do. But no, I've gotten on Notre Dame Barstool for a couple of them. ESPN posted me for some of them, so I've definitely had a good time with it. It's kind of crazy that this year I was more known for throwing up signals than being a football player, but I was cool with it. It was fun. I had a really good time.
I was just going to make a comment on that, but of course you had to follow up. I was going to ask you what your favorite signal call was, but of course, Kobe Bryant clear out one.
Get out of the way.
Well, yeah, that's a good one. All right, I got one more question here, then we'll finish it off. As we know, you were a district champion here in Valley View in 2021. You went to a state quarterfinal game, and even though you had a traumatic knee injury where you couldn't see the field, unfortunately, because obviously I think you tore your ACL, was it?
That's right.
What is it like to be able to support your guys even though you can't be on the field due to certain injuries?
I think it's tough. Obviously, being in the position that we were in and playing as well as we were, that stinks. But I think at the end of the day, like, there's also a certain sense of, and I know you guys kind of feel it, but like, I grew up with all those guys, so to be able to kind of support them again, it's just like anything else. Like I've known, I'll use Jordan Rebar, Sean Macker, and those guys for example. Like I've known those guys since I'm 5 years old or even younger. So like supporting those guys wasn't difficult at all. Especially being able to say I'm a district champion, I think is something that's really really cool. And I hope you guys get. I don't know if you guys have one.
Got one in 2024.
You guys know the feeling of that. Like it's special. So I think just to be able to say that I have one of those, and like I said, supporting the guys that I've known my entire life, it wasn't very difficult. So I think it was, pretty honestly, I don't want to say it was easy because obviously there's a mental aspect to it, but it was definitely not as difficult as I think people may think it was. So.
Of course. Thank you, Adam, for coming on today, and we'll get into our next segment very shortly. Thank you, Colin, for being my co-host today. Thank you, Adam, for coming on as my guest.
Appreciate you having me.
And with that being said, we'll get on to our next segment of Turkey Talks.
Welcome back to the trivia segment of Turkey Talks. As always, if you hear this sound. Okay. And as always, if you hear this segment, Rubel got it. And if you hear this sound, Adam got it. All right, so you boys ready? Here we go. First question. What specific location does the New Year's celebration take place?
New York. New York.
I need more specific.
Manhattan.
Incorrect.
Times Square.
Correct. 1-0, Adam. Times Square. You have to be specific. Question number 2. What men's college basketball coach has the most wins?
Coach K, Duke.
Correct. 2-0. Ryan, this could be a 3-week losing streak if you don't get this question right here. Question number 3. What war featured the Battle of Gettysburg?
Civil War.
Correct. 3-0. 3-0. Another opportunity for Ryan to get swept. Here we go. Question number 4. How many national championships does the University of Pittsburgh have in football?
9.
4-0, Ryan. 4-0, Ryan.
The Civil War.
4-0.
Not.
Here we go. Last question. Ryan, don't get swept. How many months have 28 days?
1.
Incorrect.
February.
Incorrect.
Every month has 28 days. Every month has
Correct.
28 days.
All right, Ryan. 4-1. That's a 3 or 4 week losing streak. You got to pick it up these next couple weeks. Well, we'll see you on the next segment of Turkey Talks.
What's up, everyone? This has been a great episode of Turkey Talks here. We had a great interview with Josh, amazing food review with Rubel over here, and we had a good trivia session, all right? So we had a great interview with Adam, too. Gave us some great answers to our great questions. So with that being said, we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you guys for watching Turkey Talks today. Hope you guys had a fun time watching. And with that being said, let's get right into our next episode.